So what we need to know, because this is important, right? 2027 is not that far away, not that far away, is whenever we move into a whole new cycle, there's chaos. There's always chaos. Chaos precedes the changing of cycles. That goes with the three, doesn't it? The third gate. Difficulty at the beginning. It's the beginning, and that's the shadow of chaos. So chaos always precedes the changing of these cycles. And so what we see during the breakdown, right, ending a 400-year cycle, we see the breakdown of social order. We see the institutions are breaking down. We see that our infrastructures are breaking down. Nations, borders, all that stuff is breaking down for this new cycle to emerge. And this is typical. Everything that we've built from 1615 to 2027 is collapsing. So something new can be born. So this is old tribal consciousness. The old tribal consciousness is being mutated out of the human DNA. So we're seeing that reflected out in the world, aren't we? Through the Middle East. So I'm going to go into that a little bit. Okay, so this is what you need to know. This is like we're seeing the death. We're seeing the death in an old cycle, and this is a good thing, right? It's a good thing. So in the end, we're just in the process, right? This transformational process, and it can look completely chaotic, but you need to know that there's an underlying intelligence to all of this, right? And thank God the ego isn't in charge, right? The ego is not in charge of this at all. So also remember that we're in the end of the Kali Yuga, right? The Kali Yuga. This is yogic teachings. Right, so we're coming out of that, and we're coming. This is when it's in the dark age. We're in the dark age right now, but we're coming out of it. This is when we've been this cycle is when we've been the most disconnected from our divinity, disconnected from the truth of who we really are. That we're spiritual beings having human experiences. The Kali Yuga is ruled by Mr. Ego. This is all about the ego. And it seems like the ego is winning out there, but it's not, right? This is the last grip that the ego has on humanity. And it's not going to let go willingly, but the energy and the consciousness is moving out of egoic consciousness, right? And moving more towards the light, more towards the truth, right? The Sat Yoga. So we're coming up again. We're moving into the light. Okay, so that's the other cycle that we're in. And a lot of the religions out there, if you look at them in truth, they're saying the same thing. This is a time of great, great change. So just a reminder before I got into the chart here, remember my last video, we're at a choice point. We're at the choice point now. So we've got three parts to us, right? Three parts. We've got our angelic self, which is more of the truth of who we are. And then we have our human self, which is the hybrid. The hybrid is carrying both these energies. And this is the animal self. This is ruled by the ego, right? So the angelic self knows the truth. Our angelic self knows the truth, that all is divine, right? It's aligned with unity. Our animal self does not know this and has no idea that this exists. No idea whatsoever, right? Because it's not in this consciousness. Angelic self is a high, high consciousness. Our animal self is a low, low consciousness. So they don't, the animal self has no idea that this is part of you, right? So you've been tricked into thinking that this is you. Most of the world has been tricked that that's you and that this is something else, right? So this is all about division. It's all about duality. It's all about taking sides, this or that. It's all about projection, right? So we're in before we could be the fence sitter. Well, I'll go back and forth here. I'll be my angelic self when I go to the workshops or I do my trainings. I focus on my spirituality, and then I'll go back here, right, into my fear, into my duality, into my blame and complain, my victim, right? And then go back and forth. And now the pressure is on. It's like, okay, enough of this fence sitting. You got to make a choice now, right? You have to make a choice. And this is a commitment. Am I going to commit to my angelic self, or am I going to commit to my animal self? And then after 2027, if you pick your animal self, you pick your fears, you pick your smallness. I'm too small, I'm too little, right? I need safety. I'm going to go along with the crowd. You will be pulled down until you don't have enough willpower anymore. You just won't have the willpower to come back here, right? And that's when it's got you. The animal self has got you. And we'll see this with people. There'll be like a whole new species on the planet, right? These people. And we're already seeing it. There's some people out there, and I'm not judgmental or whatever. I'm looking at it neutrally, that I'm actually communicating to them, and I'm trying to listen to them and what they're saying, and I don't understand them. Like literally, I don't understand the words that are coming out of their mouth. Right? That's this like division that's going to happen with people, and they certainly don't understand me when I'm saying, right? Okay, so you got to make your choice. Now it's time to make your choice. And this is a no-brainer. Choose this. It's a no-brainer. Choose your angelic self. But it takes discipline and trust and faith, right? And having faith. But this is you. This is where all your power is. There's no power here. And the whole world wants you here, because the whole world has been ruled by this animal self and ego for thousands of years, thousands and thousands of years. Okay, so remember that. I'm committed to my angelic self, right? I'm committed to that. Okay, so where do we want to go next here? So let's go to beliefs, because Jupiter is also about beliefs. Jupiter is like the guru, right? That which brings you from the darkness into the light, the goo to the goo, brings you into the light. And the light is the light of who you really are. It's the truth. And the rue, that's the ego. It's the darkness of the ego, right? So it also rules beliefs, and it also rules religion, right? It rules the 9th house and the 12th house. Like it's the ancient ruler of the 12th house. Pisces. So this is, remember this cycle that we're leaving, right? This cross of planning, and we're going into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. So there's a lot that's happening with this end, the breakdown, the institution. So the institution of religion is breaking down as well. So it's said that this is our last big challenge, 2023 to 2027. We're going to be in this big time, right? And this has to do with beliefs. Jupiter rules beliefs, and it's in the shadow of addiction. So addicted to beliefs, going over and over the same thing in the head when you're in the shadow frequency. Right? That this is my belief. I can't let it go. I just can't let it go because it's karmic and it's ancestral. And so our typical way with the cross of the planning and before that was we're going to resolve this with violence and conflict and war. That's our animal self, right? That's the ego. That's the only way we can get rid of it, because the ego has no idea that it's coming from inside. The source is from inside us. So we end up fighting our demons and fighting our own shadows out in the external world and getting nowhere. This does not solve anything, as we've seen over these hundreds and hundreds of years. This does not solve anything. It just continues, because what you do is you just feed the shadow, right? And both groups got their group shadow projected on the group shadow, and then they fight and they get nowhere. So this time is the end of beliefs, right? The end of beliefs. And we're seeing the power of beliefs, aren't we? Out in the world, the power of beliefs. People are really taking sides. It's like really, really amazing. I feel like it's more powerful than 2020 when people took sides, right, over science. And now they're taking sides over religion. That's the next one, right? Is religion. This is going to be the big, big theme in the next 3-4 years. So we have to end these beliefs, because this is tribal, right? These beliefs are tribal. And remember with the tribe wants you eating the same food. The tribe, this consciousness wants you to eat the same food because you smell like us because you're eating the same food. We want you to look like us, wear the same kind of clothing, and we want you to be educated like us. So we think alike, and we want you to believe like us. So believe in the whatever the deity is for that tribe, right? Which is just the projection, right? A projection onto the divine. And the divine can't be projected upon because it's the totality. It's all. We can't project on the divine. Like we're like a little tiny dot compared to the divine, if that. So remember, Jupiter rules Pisces, and this is the teacher preacher, right? So the teacher preacher promises you something to believe in, right? The afterlife, the heaven, the virgins, whatever it is, right? Something to believe in. It's all about belief. This is our relationship with the divine since like thousands of years. It's about belief. So right now we're seeing extremes, and this is for a reason. We're seeing the extremes. They have to be seen. These extremes have to be seen. Globally, we're in the channel, the 5432, the channel of transformation, and that means this is about extremes. In order to transform, we need to see these extremes, which is only a reflection on how much pressure this old tribal consciousness is under, right? So we're going to see more and more extremes connected to beliefs, right? Connected to beliefs. So hold steady. So remember that the new theme after 2027, there's no more belief. No more belief after 2027. It's going to be to have a direct experience of the divine, right? So start working on that right now. I'm having my own direct experience of the divine. If somebody tries to talk you, I always use the analogy of if you stub your toe, right? And you're like, oh, I'm in pain. Oh, that's so hurt. And somebody comes by and says, you're not in pain. What are you talking about? Right? I don't believe that you're in pain. Well, you can speak from your own direct experience and say, no, this is my experience. I am in pain. But if you're not having a direct experience of the divine and you're in this tribal consciousness of belief, right, then you can be talked out of all kinds of things that take you out of your authenticity because you're here, you're in belief, you're in the head, right? You're not in your direct experience of the divine. And this is what we're being called to do. And religion is about believing in someone else's experience of the divine. It's now time for us to have our own direct experience. So this is all going. This is our last big challenge as a humanity as we come more and more into unity consciousness. So beliefs, like look at your beliefs now. Like what beliefs do I have in my life, especially around the divine? What are my beliefs? I want to get clear on my beliefs. Well, anything that promotes division and separation is not true. That's not true. Division and separation. The divine is undivided, can't be divided, the divine, right? So division and separation, this is a lie, right? My belief, going into my belief, or our belief, our tribal belief is the absolute truth. And everybody should be following this. This is also a lie because it promotes separation. My belief is the absolute truth and yours isn't. Anything that dehumanizes other people, right, makes them the demon. They're the demons. They're the dark forces. They're my shadow, basically, that I don't want to own. That's what's going on, is the projection, right? The projection of shadow onto another. And it's very, very powerful when a group does this. We're going to take our group shadow and we're going to project it onto another group. And basically what you're doing to those other people, you project that they're doing it to you, right? It's like fighting with the mirror, basically. So anything that promotes that, no, that's not true. It's not true. You want to dig this up. Maybe your ancestors had this and it's inside you. right? And any part of you that's fighting with this, like even listening to this right now, that Michael's wrong, he's full of it, because, and then all the reasons. Well, then this is what you're choosing. You're choosing duality and division, right? And it's not true. And you'll be pulled down during this time that we're in right now. We're in a really pressurized time. And once you just make the commitment to go here, you'll just feel this, okay, I'm committed to this. I'm not going to go into confusion. I'm not going to go into my head. I'm not going to fight with people, right? I'm not going to go into anger and fear and all that. It's like I'm continually commit to this. It's like you relax. You know what I mean? You relax when you're in this space. And also these ancient texts that these beliefs come from, right? That are very, very old. Remember that anything under true understanding doesn't come from literal interpretation, because that you have to look at it like if these prophets and deities or whatever, and they're speaking, right? Guru Nanak and Jesus and all the avatars, they were speaking in the moment that they were in to the people that were in front of them. And a lot of people go into literal interpretation. And this is not true understanding, right? The true understanding comes from one state of consciousness. Whatever your consciousness is, you're able to receive the truth. So just be aware of that too. But you don't want to be fighting with people about this, because it's belief, right? They're in their belief. And if they're in a state of consciousness that's very, very low, they're not going to let go of this belief, right? Their beliefs. Okay. Okay. So what we're learning as a humanity with this last big challenge is letting go of this old tribal consciousness that has to go. It served us, but it's no longer appropriate for us because it keeps us in separation. This time is about differentiating ourselves, right? Being our unique self, and then we can come into unity, but not before. So what we're learning as a humanity is to go to the essence of these belief systems, because there's truth. Religion, yeah, the meaning of religion is to go to your origin, is to remember your origin and remember that you've come from the divine, right? And the divine is all, right? It's all. And every single person and every single thing you see out there is a manifestation of the divine. There's no separation. There's no demons, right? There's only all. It's all divine. And so we can get tricked into believing that, right? That's the problem outside of us. Okay. So I just wanted to, I've got 2 more slides. Just a sec, you guys, because I want to leave you empowered here. This is what we're doing here. There we go. That's funny that didn't come up. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. So remember, knowledge is power. Or what's empowerment? I'm all about empowerment because I'm a pure individual. I'm here to empower you. Right? So empowerment is knowledge about yourself, your unique self. That's what true empowerment is. You need to be empowered by the knowledge about who you are, your uniqueness. And human design really helps with that because it's a science of differentiation. It shows you as an enlightened being, you as a differentiated, unique self, right? So it's having this knowledge is empowering. And also to do your inner work, your shadow and inner child work, right? You can do. And to remember that we are witnessing a dying world. That's why we're here. We're witnessing a dying world and we can't fix it. Right? This is a big one. Just feel the relief of that. Like, I can't fix the world. I can't fix the world. because this is the program. This is the way it's meant to go. This is the way that everything is unfolding, that you can't fix it. You're here to witness it. You're here to witness it. And that's why you've incarnated at this time, to be the holy witness, right? The holy witness of this transitional time. And this is our challenge right now, right? So this is not, so what does it mean to be a holy witness? Doesn't mean that you go numb at all, but you're witnessing what is going on. You're witnessing the suffering, the conflict, everything, all the scary stuff, but you're not getting trapped in duality. That's the trap. That's the trap right there. And this is taking sides. It's saying they're right and they're wrong, and I'm taking their side, and I'm going to invest all of my life force energy. I'm going to invest all my emotions, my emotional investment into this side, and I'm going to fight this other side, right? So that's anything that puts you in duality, which is going out of this space, right? Going away from all is divine, and everything and everyone is a manifestation of that divine, right? So this is a tough one. The one throwing the bomb, they're divine. The one receiving the bomb, they're divine, right? And so it's all happening. This is just a play. This is just the play of consciousness that's happening. And remember that the divine can never be harmed, because it's eternal. It was never born and will never die. This is the soul, right? It can't be destroyed and it can't be killed, the divine. So to remember that. Yes, these bodies go, right? But the divine doesn't suffer. The divine isn't harmed, right? It's like, okay, then you move on to another incarnation, right? You move on to another incarnation, or maybe another planet somewhere else to keep doing your soul's evolution. So to remember that, don't be getting tricked by these two eyes. It's going to your third eye, your third ear, your third nose, just right. Everything is divine. Everything is okay. Everybody is okay, right? At the end. And then you want to watch with compassion. So this is when you want to stay connected to your heart. I'm compassionate. I can feel that lost soul, because the ones that are trapped in this duality, they're lost souls. They've forgotten who they are. Right? They believe that they're suffering. They believe that this is only me. I'm only this body. I'm only these five senses. I'm only this head and ego. And I'm suffering. I'm in pain, right? They're lost souls. They've forgotten who they are. But ultimately, that's who they are. You want to see through this, right? See through what the two eyes and the ego are telling you. And then you want to watch with compassion. It's a holy witness. I'm in my heart. I can feel for these people that are lost, right? And I'm non-judgmental. I'm not saying you deserve this, right? That we're all divine. There's no chosen people. We're all divine, right? And you want to be in divine love. And you can't get into divine love until you know yourself, right? Until you know yourself. And to know yourself means to love yourself. So this is why doing your inner work. If you wanted, okay, what do I focus on right now, Michael? Well, these are the signs in the external world. These are the big triggers. It's time to go in. It's time to go in and do my work. It's time to commit to my divinity. It's time to do this inner work, right? And that means facing my shadow. We all have it. Doing my inner child work. Letting go of all those emotions and hurts, forgiveness, all that stuff, right? And then you can really be in yourself and be that conduit for divine love. Know your strategy and authority. Even this, if it's like, I'm not ready, I can't do inner work, I can't do shadow work, right? It's to know your strategy and authority. What's your type? Are you a manifesting generator? Are you a projector, reflector, manifester? That in itself is going to help you during this time. It's going to get more and more chaotic. And this will keep you safe. If you want to be around, like I want to be around for the party, right, to see what happens, because we're here on this earth during this transitional time, right? This will keep you safe. And I've heard this so many times with people that are really on the spiritual path. It's like, this is so funny. I left Acapulco. I don't know. I just felt like I needed to go, and boom, the hurricane arrives, and they weren't there. They're just not there for certain things, right? That's your intuition, and you can really trust your strategy and authority to not go into this, because the ego is going to pull out all the stops. This wants to stay alive, this old consciousness, but it's going down, right? So why not be proactive? And the ego is going to promise you you just need to do what they say, this group and these people, what they say, and then you'll be safe and protected. And that's not true. You gotta go into your own inner authority now. And then okay. Sweep as you go. Sweep as you go. So this is keeping the heart open. Emotions come up, maybe some anger comes up of the injustice of what's happening in the world. Fear can come up, right? Despair, depression can come up. The sweep as you go is just to feel it. Just feel it as it comes up, right? That's all you have to do. You don't need to make up a story or make any decisions from that place. It's just feel it. And then to know without a doubt that all will end well. We're just in the process of transformation, right? All will end well. All's going to end well. And then you want to be the lighthouse for others, right? You want to be that embodiment of truth for others and to help, right? Help, but don't feed anybody's victim, because when you feed somebody's victim story, then you're feeding your own victim.